Welcome to the land of 6 R's. 6 R's, that's how I said it. I'm Lynn, and you're here with me on WowBiz Nebraska. I'm going to talk to you about 6 words that are critical and very relevant to this particular moment in time. I want you to just kind of sit back and absorb these 6 words. And we're going to talk about how important they can be in planning your future for 2022. The first one is reopen. That's obvious. Secondly, we're going to go in some kind of an order here. Reinvent. Replan, that's a good one. Restage, revitalize, one of my favorite words, reboot. There they are, 6 R words. You can put them up on the wall, you can think about them, you could actually break down every single month going into the back end of the year and give it one of these R words. Redesign your future, that'd be another way to think about it. Think of those 6 words, I'll say them again quickly, and then we'll move forward. Reopen, reinvent, replan, restage, revitalize, and reboot. Once again, thanks for joining me here on WowBiz Nebraska. This is Nebraska's only economic development television program. And we talk about the entire state. We talk about different municipalities, different strategies, different trends. And we're trying to give all business owners, about 45,000 of them, by the way, across the entire state, an extra edge, help them move up and realize their full potential at this precise moment in time. Now, as you might know in front of me, how do we get this done, of course? You'll see what I have here in front of me. It's called Kinetic Sand. Now, as I go through all these words and somebody's saying, how do you summarize it? How should we be thinking to be? I think the word that I would share with you is movement, all right? Kinetic, movement. Maybe another word would be agility or be agile. This is a time when people need to be thinking about changing the product lineup over here, changing the pricing over there, changing the sales and marketing development department, changing the leadership perspective, changing the message. Somebody does something over here. Where do we go? How do we respond to that? How do we become agile, strategically move the company in appropriate directions, and do it with a sense of urgency, ladies and gentlemen, with urgency. Now, as you listen to those 6 R words, somebody's going, well, what do we have to do to actually pull that off, replan, redesign, reinvent, reboot, etc.? The first question is, well, what must our company become? You start that. Take your team, by the way, take them off-site. Take them to a hotel, a resort, someplace, some room that is completely detached, so to speak, from your offices and what's been going on the last 2 years. And start asking these kinds of questions. And it would be a fascinating idea to take this Kinetic Sand. It's a very hot product in the children's or toy market. It's called Kinetic Sand. It's a little bit like Silly Putty, only even better, funner to work with. Has a little more tactile sensation to it. And then challenge your team, whether it's just a couple people or whatever, and ask, what must our company become? And then give them this slab here of Kinetic Sand and say, think in symbols, think in metaphors. Try to tell me, if we were to create a sculpture of what our company must become to deal with the future, what would that look like? So I'm going to play around with this a little bit as I chat with you, the importance of identity. So I'm going to create something that has 2 wings here, obviously, and I didn't think about this in advance. I just kind of played with it here a little bit, which is how creativity works best, by the way. Some of you are thinking about, tell us about innovation, and I got to tell you, innovation, you plan it deliberately and purposefully, but really, frankly, most innovations happen, they kind of bubble up on the margin of the company or what people are thinking about. It wasn't what we thought, but it's better than what we were thinking. That's how innovation works, and this is a pretty good example of that. But anyway, so we could say, well, this wing over here is our product and our operations. This wing over here are people and talent and vision and some of the conceptual words that go into who we are. And you divide up the company this way, you move forward, there's kind of an arrow there. That's not a bad example of what this stuff can help you think in broad terms, symbolically, about questions like what must we become. Let's say, for instance, you say, well, that's kind of a good thing. I like that symbol. That seems to work pretty well. The sculpture's pretty cool. What must we do? What must we do to become that company that we think will be even more competitive than we've been in the past? So you start thinking about, well, what must our company do? Well, here's just an idea here. Perhaps we kind of move up with it. We elevate. We think from it. Maybe there's a higher purpose, right? Some kind of a higher mission. Maybe it's social responsibility, but it's something that we're kind of striving for, and we want to just kind of be taller than we used to be, and we want to be known for something more than just what. In fact, that's an idea. We'll go up here. We'll stick out something on one side here, on the other side, and we'll go right up to the very top. So now we have two sides as an answer to that question. Now, what will our strategy resemble? This is a good question to try to sculpt out. You could say, well, what will our strategy resemble? Well, we could say, well, we're going to go down to the very core as hard as we can of our end user, our buyer. We're going to really try to understand the psychology and the problems they're having that prompt them to buy our product. We're going to go deeper and try to get deeper understanding of their motives and their lifestyle and how they are and so on. And then we're going to kind of maybe, twist it a little bit. So now we have maybe we have something that is kind of moving, right? This kind of looks like there's a flow here, like there's, water or something is kind of moving around in a turbulent way, right? And so let's remember this as we set up our office environment. All of our desks and chairs and tables and our walls as we try to get people back into the office, they all need to be on casters, all right? And we need to be able to move around and join informally groups, discussions, so people can just kind of swirl around and say, well, let me talk to this guy, I'll move over here. And so the line of thought, right, the line of dialogue and the focus of the conversation, it never stops. It's fluid, it's kinetic, it keeps moving. So if you're the boss and you walk by the one end of the office building and people are talking to each other and you can see that the points are moving like this and converging and then separating again, that's energy, of course, that's energy. You go, hey, that's it. That's what it looks like to collaborate and innovate and do special things together and come to respect and like each other as well. So that's kind of interesting. Now we keep on going here. What must our company create? Now I'm talking tactically, I guess. What do we have to create in order for people to see the message or add value? That'd be a cool one, right? Add value to the product, right? And so we're moving it out here. Now we have kind of a sculpture. It's actually rather beautiful. It could sit on a table, like a picnic table or whatever, and it's got this nice linear horizontal, but it's not predictable, right? We're doing things aesthetically in this case where people go, wow, you guys have really enhanced your brand. Your product line looks dynamite. It's robust and it's very different than everybody else's. You're much more unique than you used to be. You go, yeah, well, for 2 years we kept thinking about how to be unique, how to stand out, right? And here we have this interesting collage and a whole continuum of products that shine on they're not just functional. They're products that people are proud to buy and even display, as a component in their own products. Kind of like Intel, by the way, as they enhance and beautify Dell computers. That'd be kind of one example there. And then finally, we ask ourselves a very, very tough question, which is, who are we? Who are we? You have to go back to that. Who are we? And I'm going to create now what would be like a brain, a human brain. And the thing I find so interesting about the human brain is that it is divided into not 2 segments, but 4 segments. And the one segment is all about abstract thinking and the future. Another one is very salesy and human. Another one is very process-oriented, middle management-oriented. And then another part of our brain is focused on like math and technology and details and linearity and organizing and all that. See, so we've got these 4 aspects of the human brain, but on this particular kinetic sand, we see they're all together, right? And the neurons from each side of the brain working together. So that means the answer to who are we is we are a whole-brained. We are a whole-brained organization. We think rationally, we think creatively, we think technically, we think personally, right? It's a pretty cool idea, and it's not a bad way to explain your ideal mentality and self-image of who you are. So there you are, Kinetic Sand, kind of enabling us to think carefully about our identity and our destiny and our goal right now for 2022. Incredible, huh? Lots of fun. Now, here's the question. We get it all done here, and everybody's kind of happy with what they're doing. And then the question is, what must we learn to pull all this off? What must we learn? What don't we know, and what do we have to learn? So I'm going to wrap up the first half of the show here by answering that question very quickly with 6 headlines. These would be headlines of articles, blog postings, whatever you want to call it, that would lead us to be able to say, there it is. So the first one is, here's the article. Here's something that you could learn. Flip the script on tradition. Flip the script on tradition. That's one essay you might particularly enjoy learning. The other one's called Sustainable Quantum Leap Improvement. Quantum leap. I mean, that's exponential. We're not talking about tweaking your business plan now or your value proposition. We're talking about quantum leap improvement now. Number 3, this is what we got to learn to be able to do this stuff here. Understand your capacity to change. We can all change. Now's the time. Everybody knows we're all going through change. Everybody wants to change correctly. Next, transform your employee culture. Probably the most single popular topic in the entire business sector of Nebraska, how to transform our business culture, attract more people. Next, related to that, is overcome employee apathy with a new vision. A new vision, yes, we want to, where are we going and why are we going there? And then the 6th article that you might want to check out where you can learn what you need to learn to do the things that we've been discussing right here in this first part of WowBiz Nebraska, and that is how to inspire your team by articulating your vision. How to inspire your team. A lot of people out there know how to manage the team, coordinate projects, but how to inspire your team by sharing a new vision with them. It's an exciting piece of education. The person and the organization that learns the most, the fastest, wins the ball game.